Hello, so this is week 4 of the Monstera updates and we have some more developments. So we're going to start again as usual with the little cup, and the little leaf, our little new friend, is still uncurling. It's getting there, it's going quite slowly, but it will be unfurled soon enough. Something new that I have noticed is, for example, on this one here, this little root, this new root here, this tiny little one, that I believe is going to be a new aerial root potentially, because it's not actually sitting in the water, but at the same time it could just be a normal root that is looking for the water, because the other root here is also growing, so it could just be stimulating more root development in the plant. So that one was slightly different to this one, which you can see here. This is the continued growth of a new aerial root, and as well on this part of the aerial root there is another little prick, pinprick just here, and this is the development of a new aerial root that will eventually grow and stay in the air, and these ones will hopefully be able to help the plant remain upright when it is in its new home. But in general, the roots are still doing very, very well. They're developing nicely, they're growing very strongly, and we'll soon have a very strong root system, and this pot will be too small for these plants very quickly, so they will be moved potentially next week, but we might get away with leaving them in there for a little bit longer. Moving on to one of our vases. I don't want to take them out because the roots are getting quite long now, and every time you take them out you risk damaging them, which is obviously not something that I want to do. But you can see that they are developing very, very well. They've got lots of new growth points and they look very healthy. So I'm quite pleased with these ones. They're growing pretty quickly too, which is also very exciting. And I'm very excited to watch them continue to grow. As well as that, there is a new point of growth on one of the stems, which is just here. So you can see this point of growth here. So that could potentially be a new leaf, or it could be a new stem. I'm not entirely certain, it's far too early to tell for me, and we'll just keep an eye on it and see what happens. I do think it will be a new leaf though, so we'll see in time. So this is our final vase. This is our slow vase, which took some time to kind of like get going, and it is definitely picked up now, and the roots are coming in very nicely. You can really start to see them now, which is very good, and it has definitely really ramped up its growth. So again, we'll soon have a very healthy root system. And more clearly on this one, you can see a new aerial shoot, which is here. So this one is growing very, very strongly. It's getting quite long. It's probably grown maybe 3 inches in the time that it's been cut. So hopefully it will continue to thrive. But as you can see with this leaf and the other one, these leaves are not doing very well, but that's okay for now. We will eventually cut them off when the plants are being transplanted, but for now they're perfectly okay. It's not too much of a problem. They don't actually need the leaves to be completely healthy, they just need some greenery on them. So for now I will leave them, but they will be cut off soon. And lastly, onto our pot. So this is getting even more interesting as the weeks go on. So there are many points of new growth on here. So one of them is here. This is our new little leaf friend that we were looking at last week. So it is still not entirely opened, so I'm still not quite sure what it is. You can see it just there, it's kind of like bent over. So I do think it is a leaf, but I'm not sure. Time will tell. Can you see it? I think there is the best way of seeing it. You can see just above it here, there is another point of growth, as well as down here, and just there. So they aren't the only ones. There is also this little friend here, which is coming out very nicely. It seems to be coming out of the stem. And I'll see if I can change the angle. There we go. So we can see how it's coming out, and it is very interesting actually. So I will be definitely keeping an eye on this one just to see what happens with it. But overall they are doing very well. The plant is thriving now that it is not in such strong competition with itself, and once it is potted in a new place and has more room to develop and grow new root systems and has more energy and less competition for nutrients, then I'm sure I will see a massive explosion of growth. But until then, it is still doing very well, and we'll just keep an eye on them. So thank you for watching, and I'll be back next week with another update.